telling me sick, and I said, no.
See, one flu vaccine made you sick as a dog.
Oh, it was bad. I said, never again. I said, I'm not putting that crap in my body.
It's not crap. It's life-saving medicine. And you know, 800,000 people more, I think it's 900,000 now, have died from this, and that's worse than World War II.
Like, how many people died from the flu?
A great number, many. And one of the big reasons that happens are people are greedy and they don't get their flu vaccine, and it helps it spread. They're more, if you're
sick, you stay your ass at home, you take your cold meds, your flu meds, you do not go outside.
Well, that is, yes, you should, because that's irresponsible. However, what if you are not asymptomatic? Or you're poor and you have to work? Two big problems there. Asymptomatic is a big problem with COVID.
I'm poor and I have to work, but you know what? When I'm sick, I'm not going anywhere.
Well, you're not supposed to, but with COVID, you might not know you're sick. A great number of people don't
Apparently, I built up some sort of immunity because I was sick in the summer. I had a bad sinus infection. Oh, you've got COVID. Really? I've suffered with allergies and sinus infections my whole entire life. Now
if you have respiratory problems, you got to be careful. You have an even worse chance of getting a problem.
Trust me, I am A-okay.
Well, again, like I said at the beginning, it's irresponsible. It's so greedy, in my view, to do that. Like, I got a problem with someone just, you can have your opinion, but to put other people in danger. Like, you shouldn't be allowed to go to the grocery store, go to gas stations, go to schools, churches, where people are. What if there's an immunocompromised kid on the bus?
I get that, but
what if I have a problem? You know, I'm an ex-smoker.
Your vaccine is not going to keep you from getting it either.
There's two big problems with that. If it helps save your life, it can keep you from dying.
These masks do not protect us from getting sick.
Probably not. Humans are fucking filthy. If you could zoom in on a microscope with the shit floating around the air, there's.
They're not.
Oh, you said you had allergies and soup, so there's pollen in the air. There's plant jizz in the air. That's reproductive material from plants. And smog and leaded fuel from gas, and there's about 500 of things in it. But the numbers are so overwhelming, and especially with this new one, you're talking about a level of rudeness and greed that disqualifies you from anything. Like, you can't, if you don't have the respect for the community and those around you to help protect yourself and others. Like, what makes you think you're smarter than all the doctors?
I don't
all of them.
That. I just know what I know, personal experience and things that have gone on.
So the combined effort of human knowledge, where people have been cooperating and exploring science and doing tests and experiments and revising their hypothesis for thousands of years, that your gut feeling just overwhelms that.
They haven't tested this for thousands of years.
No, all of science is it's like a pyramid. You put another brick on top.
No, I get that.
We know more now than we did yesterday, and we know a lot. Like, I was trying to show you, I know in utter great specific detail.
Right.
I'm serious when I say it is morally reprehensible. If you feel a little ill for a day or two, so sad, you could be killing people. And also, there's another issue: mutation. Mutation comes purely from the number of hosts it goes through. It's a numbers game. Bigger number, more chance of mutation. You guys are prolonging this shit and drawing it out, and to the tune of millions. There are millions of new bodies. Do you understand what type of numbers we're talking about? One little viral particle, when it replicates inside a cell, will make hundreds or thousands of copies of itself. It's not like a rabbit or 5 come out. It's the factor I was describing, the whole cell thing with you earlier, went through the thing. The cytoplasm inside the cell is most of the volume. It's like all your fat in your body. It's just fuel. And the assembly code from the virus just takes all the shit around it and turns it into copies of itself. So it's not 1, 5, 25, 125. It's 10, and 10 times 100, 10,000, a million, 100. You see what I mean? It's
right.
And it's much bigger than the numbers I just said.
Right.
It's you are putting the whole world at substantial risk. Because if it so happens, when you get, here's another advantage of being vaccinated. Remember, I was describing how the immune system starts to respond when it sees something, and it has to actually run a code breaking thing, like a lockpick, to kill the cell. And it takes a while for it to figure it out. And after it figures it out, it leaves memory of what it did, so more can be made. And your body just decides, like, how serious was that? How many of those do I need to keep around? How much energy do I need to put into that? The more your body freaks out, the more antibodies it stores, and the quicker it'll be able to respond in the future. But it responds much faster if it's had experience with it. That's the whole point of vaccines. So if you get infected with COVID, and yes, it's going to start replicating in there before your immune system can get to it. There's no way it can immediately stop the replication. It has to respond. It's always a sucker punch. It's you can't go first. The length of time you're infected after it gets you, you recover much quicker. Your body quickly eradicates it, so it doesn't eat as much of you and turn that mass into copies of itself. By orders of magnitude. You were just saying earlier about the breath. These masks aren't good enough because humans spew. Every time you breathe, every breath you take, you're spewing. Okay? So if you beat the shit in 36 hours and it's gone and exterminated from your system, you were ejecting it for 36 hours. If you're sick for 2 weeks, you're ejecting it for 2 weeks. And there'll also be variances. It'll be real bad at first and get better, and as your body starts killing it, at day 12 it'll only be 5% of the original, but still you're spewing for all that length of time. So the amount you spew into the environment around you goes way up if you're sick longer. And I focused all on other people. Here's for you. It can save your life. You said you have bad allergies and sinus stuff. This thing is going to continue to evolve, and it likes eating your sinuses, or not your sinus, your lungs, your throat tissue, that area. So as it evolves, it can spread closer areas. It's hard to explain, but the adaptation it has, it tends to target lungs and become airborne. It's an airborne lung disease. Right. So it could, whatever it evolves, could be more in that category. It could affect you. If you have allergies, maybe you're sensitive and you'll freak out to it. But if you freak out to the vaccine, well, shit, you're probably going to freak out from the virus too. Because that same bit of code is in the virus. So if you have trouble with the vaccine, you would have had trouble with the virus too. You'll have a bad reaction to the virus, and on top of that, it's trying to eat you alive while your body's trying to fight it off. You got two choices. You can practice with a sparring dummy that's not trying to eat you and see how your body handles the practice. Or you can put an actual hostile in there that's physically eating you, that's going inside your tissue, hijacking your body's machinery and making copies of itself. It is eating you. It's digesting and shitting you. And hopefully your body's immune system, which is a complicated, wonderful thing, can fight it off.
I'm pretty healthy.
Well, you're pretty healthy, but get back to the community. What if you give it to someone else who's not? What if someone has leukemia? That fucks up your bone marrow and really destroys your immune system. Your chances of dying would be very high.
Start feeling sick, I stay at
What
home.
if you never feel sick because you're asymptomatic? And what if you handle it pretty well and you don't even notice anything? It's just a little itchy nose.
I have allergies. Look,
Yeah, you see, you might think it's just allergies.
They're trying
It's
to say that even if you have
fake
sniffles, you have, the Omicron. I'm like, you know what?
They can test for it, but yeah, I'm sure people.
I've
This
had
is.
sniffles my whole entire life, guys. And
No, one more.
enough. They said that I had built up an immunity from it. I don't know how big and how small.
Okay, that's good.
I said,
If
that's,
okay, you've been
that's
affected.
herd immunity. That's
Yeah,
what
it's
y'all
great
are
that you
talking
have
about.
antibodies for it, but get this: a vaccine. That means one, you're not going to freak out from the vaccine for sure. You'll be good. Left right here. But it gives you additional immunity and it's different. It's a slightly different, so especially with variants and stuff. It's also good to mix and match the vaccines to give you 2 of one and 1 of another. Oh shit! I dropped these pants too.
Are you getting picked up again?
Huh?
Are you getting picked up again? What you do?
No, I'm gonna get lost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been trying to convince people. I told people, I'm that person in high school that got beat. I'm from Kentucky, like I said earlier.
From New Orleans.
So my parents were religious and conservative, and everyone around me was like that, and I got beat horribly for being the nerd. But I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd. I got laptops and cameras.
Right. And you know
by the
what?
way, hold up.
It's okay to be a nerd.
I'm a civil rights activist for service dog, and I was put to science and every college, know my rights, I got screwed over and hate, I fight discrimination. So.
Oh, good for you. Service dog rights.
Yeah, so I run and make videos, and I've been learning to edit videos and stuff.
Nice.
I do a lot of stuff. And I'm a science nerd. I study quantum physics. I'm pretty good with calculus.
Right.
I'm very skilled with just straight computation, doing arithmetic.
My mind goes blank.
And I know I've paid attention to the vaccine stuff. I know it inside and out. It is not only safe and important, it'll protect you and it'll protect your community, and it is morally reprehensible not to take that measure. So even if there is, and you can't say it's such a small risk, but when you break down the numbers, it is so small. It is so small that it's offensive that someone would be that selfish. Hey, here's the thing. That could just mean they have kind of a fucked up immune system and it failed to protect them, blah, blah, blah. But it's free, but just because they get sick anyway, what have you lost? Oh, I took the vaccine and I still got sick. Well, what'd you lose?
I took the vaccine to protect me. I should not be getting sick if I've had this vaccine.
It's not that simple. You're oversimplifying. There's been billions of years of evolution. It's not such a simple thing. I know I could go on forever on this.
But I gotta go.
It's just one little shred of chemical. It's inert. It's not like a drug.
Nope, not at all. You have a good day.
Yeah. California. Where I'm from would be 10 times worse because, it's fucked up. So, you could breed the next variant and get 1 million people killed. It's a possibility. So dry as fuck. Do your part, people. Every argument she had was there was a fucking 10-minute conversation before I turned the phone on. I swear. I just didn't. That was fucked up. People are so stubborn and so greedy. I need water in my fucking shit. Oh my god. People are so greedy. They don't care. Every argument she made was just drivel, like, oh, well, they still got sick anyway. They took the vaccine. They still got sick and ended up in the hospital. Well, she was very old, like 55 at least. Maybe even older, maybe like 60, 65. Maybe your friends have weak immune systems, and, you know, at the nursing home, they fucking blah, 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 have a bunch of... If it's so bad you got sick anyway, how bad would it have been? Oop, time to leave the Uber review. I didn't bother fucking telling you who she is. No, fucking strike that. Strike that. No, put her on social media. I'm gonna go get her. I'm gonna take pictures of the thing. People need to know. People need to know. What if someone doesn't want? What if an immunocompromised person says, I don't want to ride with a unvaccinated driver? Shame. But do your part, people. Oh, and by the way, you see how it is when I'm calmly talking to someone, I'm not shilling, yelling and stuff. I will say this, as far as a linguist, she didn't interrupt and run over someone like the people like Dason do that don't have anything. So, and I gave her a long lecture before I described in detail how DNA is taken from the nucleus of the cell, packaged by the Golgi apparatus, taken the endoplasmic reticulum, run through a ribosome to make copies of itself. She listened intently to all that, and I thought for a minute, oh, I'm getting to her, because I wish I fucking had that. I was doing good, and my shit wasn't cracked up yet. My mouth is dry as fuck. I just fucking gabbed like a motherfucker before I got in there. I'd apologize for coughing. Dude, like, yeah, I'll show you pictures. The little gray hair lady, I'll show you pictures in on another video. But I'm offended. Like I was telling her, it's morally reprehensible. I want Lyft. Or no, this was Uber. Let me make sure I'm gonna show you. Yeah, it's Uber. I use both services. So this was Uber. And I want them to make a policy, either one of two things. Either you gotta disclose whether or not your driver's vaccinated, or just not let them work at all. Okay, I don't want an unvaccinated person picking me up. Because there's two reasons. One, it's dangerous for me in the community and all that. Two, they're dumb motherfuckers that if you're bad with physics, you're driving the car. You could kill me. So I just flack the fuck out. I never did. My stalkers and stuff forced me into two ways. And people see that fight. But besides the fights, I'm always nice and polite to people. I'm a nice guy till you piss me off. So I never leave thumbs down. The only time I ever leave thumbs down when it comes up to religious shit, pseudoscience, propaganda, things that can get people hurt, the bad shit. I'm not sure I've ever, yes I have. But okay, I've only ever given a handful of 1-star reviews on Uber. Most time, I'm like, 5 stars, fine, yeah, worse, whatever, I don't care. And it's usually all right. She was chatty, by the way. But no, they shouldn't be allowed, man. They shouldn't. I got my license now. Oh, fuck, that felony. I was going to say I could be an Uber driver now. I have a 1-star every passenger. It says they're anti-vax. No, man, don't fucking call me to do you a favor. No, don't take a little shot. Bad people.